Macaulay. All
All right, guys. So this is called a beaker. I'll take it out the packaging. Should have did that. This is a beaker.
What's that?
It's used in a lot of science to measure out. It has little numbers, goes by milliliters, and this is a tube. So this is what's going to be disappearing and vanishing. And this is our magic. Just vegetable oil. You have this laying around the house. So the first thing we're going to do, oh, and then we have a funnel to pour into the tube. The first thing we're going to do is take our beaker and we're going to fill it about 3/4 of the way full. So not all the way full, but a little over halfway. We're going to take it. We're going to pour it about a little over halfway. Does that look good, guys? Then we're going to take our test tube and we're going to plop it in there. So you guys see it, right? You guys can see the tube right now, just sitting in there.
Nothing. I just
And
in class, huh?
we're gonna open our tube. We're gonna stick our funnel in, and we're gonna. How am I gonna show you guys the magic? So watch this. And now you can't even see it. Can you guys see the tube down here? It's gone. Now we're gonna, everybody sees it, right? So you see that the tube is right here, but as soon as I add it into the thing, you can see it going in and then it disappears. I'm trying to block the numbers. Everybody can see that? All right. Okay, we're gonna do another one. So I'm gonna take my little tube and I'm gonna dump it back into the oil. And the next one. Okay, the next one, sorry guys. So we're gonna take our beaker and we're gonna leave the oil in it. So it's gonna stay like this. And then we're gonna take our tube, which is now all oily, and we're gonna add some water. Okay. And then we're gonna close it.
Who is this?
Okay, so you could see it with water, but when we added the oil, you couldn't see it. So you guys see the little test tube? This one's filled with water instead of oil. So when you add oil into the tube and then you add it into half of the oil in your beaker, it's gonna disappear. But if you do just water, it's not. Now, did you guys know that in science, if you what happens when you mix oil and water together? Does anybody know?
You can pour them.
It doesn't mix, right? Who wants to see that? We're gonna try it. So we're gonna take our beaker and we're gonna fill it about halfway with oil, with vegetable oil. And everybody should have vegetable oil at their house if you guys wanted to try this with like a cup instead of a beaker. And then we're gonna take, oh shoot, keep doing this one, sorry guys. Okay, we're gonna take our beaker and we're gonna start with water. So we're gonna pour about halfway with water. Can you guys see that? all the little bubbles. And then we're gonna slowly add water. So watch what happens.
What's gonna happen to it?
So as you can see, all the water's on the bottom, but all the oil is on the top. They don't mix. Oil and water don't mix. Oil just sits on top of water.
On top of it?
Yeah. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
So it just sits on top.
Really?
And even if I try to take my tube right now and I try to mix it up and I try to get it all into one, it doesn't mix.
Yeah.
So this is all water down here and this is all oil up here. And then now we're gonna take our test tube and we're gonna add back our funnel and we're gonna fill the funnel up with our vegetable oil. I'm sorry, the test tube into the funnel and it fills up. That makes a big old mess. And let's close it up. And then, so look, when we take this, which we filled with oil, vegetable oil right now, and we add it into the beaker, you can see it through the water, right?
Yes.
But can you see it through the oil?
No.
So it's halfway disappeared, right?
Yes. Yes and no.
Yeah. Oopsie. It's very slippery, guys. I'm sorry.
It's gross.
Yeah, it's gross.
Oh, man.
So we have the whole thing in, but you can only see half. And what happens when we mix it? You guys remember what I said happens when we mix it up?
No.
It doesn't mix together. So as I'm mixing it right now, it looks like it's mixing, but as soon as I stop, all that on top is oil.
Yeah.
All this like kind of white, cloudy, and then all this clear stuff down here is water.
Yes.
What do you guys think what do you guys think happens when I add water on top of oil?
Well,
It floats? Let's try it.
with
No. It goes straight to the bottom. So it just flows right through the oil back to the bottom. So water just sits on the bottom and oil sits on top.
yeah.
And it's kind of gross. So what is a different kind of oil you guys would use?
Vegetable oil.
Yeah, this is vegetable oil, but what's like another kind of oil you could use? Because any oil will work.
Cooking
But
oil.
what other kind?
Cooking oil.
You can use coconut oil, and maybe if you melt it down, put it in the microwave for like 10 seconds. You can also, what's another kind of oil?
Cooking oil.
Coconut oil. You can use avocado oil. There's sesame oil. Any kind of oil. And pretty much it works the same way. All oils work the same way. What if you used a container made out of glass instead of the special science glass that it came in this kit? It would work the same way, right?
Yes, it will.
And then what do you think would happen if we dropped like beads or marbles into the vegetable oil? Do you think they would disappear too?
Dissolve.
No, because they're not clear, right?
No.
So anything that's clear will disappear if you fill it with vegetable oil and then add it to vegetable oil. You guys want to see the first experiment again that we did with just the oil? Where it completely disappeared?
Yeah.
All right.
Show us.
Is that Desi talking to me? Okay, so we're gonna fill our beaker up again. Our oily beaker. Let's just fill it almost all the way up. So this wouldn't be considered 3/4. I would say 3/4 is about the line right there that says 40. But I don't think it really matters for this one. And then we're gonna take our oil tube. This tube is filled with vegetable oil, right? And
Yes.
let's add it. How do I get my fingers out the way? Okay, you guys can see it good, right?
Yes.
Let's add it back in.
What's gonna happen to it?
Where is it?
It's gone.
You see it in there? I can see the top of the tube, but I can't see the bottom of the tube.
I can't see the bottom of the tube.
Huh?
I can see it in there.
You can see the bottom?
Yeah,
Where?
right there.
No way, it disappeared.
To the top.
You can see the top of the tube or you can see the bottom of the tube?
I can see the top of it.
Yeah, but the bottom is disappeared. So even if I pull it out, you can see it, but it's gone when you add it in because oil, both the oils together, it's not appearing. It's science. Science is unexplainable. Has anybody ever tried this at home?
No,
No. Or are you guys gonna want to try it?
I'm going to.
Maybe.
Let me try again.
And then I ended up adding the oil back into just some water that I had, and it's sitting on top. So what we learned from this is that water and oil does not mix. So no matter how much you mix it, I could sit here and I could mix this cup all day and try to get the oil to mix with the water, but it's just gonna clump up. Whoa, that looks like a tornado, huh? It's just gonna clump up and it's always gonna sit on top. Have you guys ever seen those little, they're kind of like mini lava lamps, but they're not a lamp. It just like you turn it upside down and the bubbles go up and they're kind of like different colors.
Yeah.
That's oil and water.
I never seen that.
What was that?
I never seen that.
You've never seen that? I've never seen this either, but
Who are you?
who am I? So water and oil does not mix.
No.
And I could have added food coloring to the oil and it would have been more distinct, but you guys can still tell, right?
Yeah, I can still tell something.
So again, if we take the beaker and we add our water.
How much? Do it.
So that was water and oil.
That was water and oil.
So can you guys see that the water's kind of sitting on the bottom?
Yeah.
Just this little clear stuff down here, and then all this is oil, and it'll never mix.
No.
Yeah.
That's weird.
And then when you add the beaker into that, you can see the beaker at the bottom. Can you guys see that little bottom piece?
Yes.
So that's the beaker in the bottom. Oh shoot, it's spilling. But the top has disappeared.
How did that happen?
Because the oil, you can't see it through the oil, but you can see it through the water. If I just added it to the cup of water, you can see it, right? You
Right.
guys see that?
Yeah.
This is just water. So if I add this beaker, or I'm sorry, this tube full of oil into the water, you can still see it. But if I add it to the oil, you cannot see it, except for where there's water down at the bottom. So what we learned from this is that water and oil can never mix. Even if you sit here all day and night trying to mix it, it'll never mix. Oil will always sit on top and water will always sit on bottom. Why do we think that is? Does anybody have any guesses on
No.
why that might be?
That's
Why oil and water doesn't mix? Nobody?
What'd you say about that? What'd you say about thing?
So I can tell you right now why oil and water will never mix. So oil and water have different densities. Does anybody know what density means?
Yes. What does
Have
it
you
mean?
ever squished something and it's, would you consider it hard or soft? Have you ever squished something?
No?
Like your pillow or anything? If you squish that and that's considered density.
Yeah.
So, so there are more molecules in water than oil. Oils have a polar part, and so for them to dissolve in water, they would have to break down into hydrogen bonds.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't change. So it kind of just forms a new substance. So oil and water never mix, and it just forms this. You guys see that? It's like a little tornado.
It is. Let me see.
All right. So did you guys like that? Was it
Yeah.
cool? The vanishing tube. We still have our beaker full of oil. And you could see oil. You could see this when it's filled up with oil, in water, but you cannot see it when it's in oil. And then it disappears in this.
So
Is that cool? Do you guys like it?
yeah.
Yeah. Good science class. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah.
No.
Thank you for participating with me,
thank
Amy.
you. No, thank you.